They are dreaded killers waging a war on the state, but the Maoists will now be entitled to special privileges within jails. A court in Kolkata has ordered that arrested Maoists should be treated as political prisoners. It comes close on the heels of a Kolkata High Court order that decreed a similar move in the case of 8 Maoists. The order now puts the spotlight on the Home Minister, who's at the helm of affairs as security forces fight a bloody battle against the ruthless killers in the red zone. Sources tell us that the NIA does plan to challenge the order, offering a stiff resistance. In effect, this is what the order means. The killer Maoists in jails will now be entitled to a separate cell, home-cooked food, they will have access to newspapers and books, they will be allowed meeting their relatives and advocates on a regular basis as well. Now that you have considered the privileges, consider the men who will get them. Here's the blacklist. Telugu Deepak of the CPI Maoists. This man is linked directly in at least 40 cases of murder and attack. Sadula Ramakrishnan of, again, the CPI Maoist, the man behind the attack launched by rebels on, in fact, the rocket launcher factory set up by Red Rebels. Chhatrapal Mehato, the PCAPA chief, he's the rebel who led the bloody Lalgarh agitation and is booked in 35 criminal cases. Gaur Chakravarti, the CPI Maoist spokesperson, who's the mastermind behind the Lalgarh operation. The question that you have to decide upon is whether these men who waged a bloody war against the country deserve mercy. There is already a huge uproar over the move, and there is a reason why. India since 2004 has suffered 7,000 Maoist attacks. 5,000 people have been killed in Naxal violence since 2004, and a lot of them have been poor villagers. Maoists have wrecked almost 2,000 schools since 2008, and their stated goal remains to overthrow the elected government through violence. What's worse is that these Maoists are getting arms from China and the ISI and are working overtime to close ranks with various anti-India terror groups as well. And already tough questions are being asked. By deeming Maoist political prisoners, aren't we setting a disturbing trend? Won't the court order impact the morale of security forces? Won't the court order open the floodgates for similar demands across India? Will this order only strengthen the impression of India being a soft state? Is this misplaced empathy without regard of the sacrifices that our brave men in uniform make on a daily basis? Manugya Lolwal now joins us on the phone line. Manugya, what is the reaction you're picking up, especially from the security forces who are extensively deployed across the Red Corridor?
It's a kind of depression in most of these security forces and the officials we've spoken to. They always feel that they have to travel in tough terrain, wait for several hours, and of course, at times they have to also deal with the bad weather conditions. And despite all that, they give their lives also. There have been hundreds of police officials and security personnel who have lost their lives over the years. And if this is what happens to the prisoners, and if this is what happens to the people who are arrested after several efforts of intelligence and of course the security personnel, it is very demoralizing for the forces initially. And of course, if this is the precedent that has been set initially, in days to come, you could see even more applications pouring in the court. And finally, these all people who've been accused of being Maoists will be paid out of the exchequer for their food and all other priorities and privileges in the prison.